Welcome to Read Radio, the official podcast of Fraser Valley Regional Library.
Hi, my name's Dave, and today I want to tell you about two memoirs, both written by independent musicians. The first is by Orenda Fink, who I've been a fan of for over 20 years. She's one half of the duo Azure, along with Maria Taylor, whose quiet, haunting melodies and somber lyrics were adoringly given the genre label whispercore by music blogs in the early 2000s. Fink's memoir is called The Witch's Daughter. Before reading the book, all I really knew about Orenda Fink was that she was from the South and that she was the more mysterious member of Azure. Her songs were the more brooding ones. What I couldn't have known was that her childhood was defined by her controlling and erratic mother, who also claimed to be a witch. Fink describes her mother's nightly ritual of cranking up bluegrass records on the stereo, sitting on the kitchen stool chain-smoking menthol cigarettes, and drinking beer after beer. Most of these nights, Fink was forced to sit on the stool opposite and listen to yet another telling of her mother's stories, or sometimes to cower in her room as her mother smashed things downstairs. Fink tells us early on in the book that as an adult, with the help of her therapist, she realized that her mother is not just troubled in some undefinable sense, but rather almost certainly has borderline personality disorder. The book has two parallel narrative tracks, one in which the author grows from child to young adult, finds refuge and escape in music, builds a career and a life, but continues to struggle with her still manipulative mother, and the other narrative track, where in middle age she finally figures out how to deal with her. The book is vivid and visceral with a few laugh-out-loud moments. You can feel the heat radiating off the weathered boards of her family's crumbling farmhouse, smell the mold and dirty dishes of her older sister's squalid trailer, feel the electricity when Fink is in Haiti and allowed to visit intense nighttime voodoo ceremonies. You don't have to know Orenda Fink's music to enjoy The Witch's Daughter, but it did have just enough lore from her career to satisfy my curiosity as a fan. The other book I want to tell you about is by Neko Case, her memoir entitled The Harder I Fight, the More I Love You. She's about the same age as Orenda Fink, but grew up in the Pacific Northwest, including Vancouver. Her music is often described as country noir, though you might also know her singing as part of the indie pop supergroup the New Pornographers. Her voice is piercingly clear. It feels like it could shatter a building from across an ocean, and her memoir gives you a good sense of how the passion and strength behind that voice were forged. Many Gen Xers will fondly recall their free-range childhoods, biking all day and drinking water from the hose, but Neko Case describes a neglect that goes far past that familiar, benign trope. After her mother faked her own death, then came back, then left again with a new boyfriend, she was left alone with her father as he descended into depression and paranoia, thanks in large part to an uncle who would pass along tapes of fire and brimstone sermons. Some days, it was just Nico and the rattlesnakes in the yard with a packet of Jell-O mix for food. But through those difficult years, she discovered music, and eventually, with it, a sense of power, safety, and community. She has become someone who loves fiercely and can't be trifled with. It's ultimately a triumphant journey. So again, those books are The Witch's Daughter by Orenda Fink and The Harder I Fight, the More I Love You by Neko Case. Come by your FVRL library and get yourself a copy.
That's our show for today. Thanks for listening. And be sure to connect with us on social media. Follow @ReadLearnPlay on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And tune in to FVRL Read Radio wherever you get your podcasts.